gotta use your legs, baby. You gotta use your legs on your jumper. Especially when you get further out. When you coming up short, you ain't using your legs. That's how football players shoot jumpers.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We are here. We missed last week due to the inclement weather. We couldn't get into the studio. I am here with my main man, Gerald Wilmore. I am Coach B for Coach B's Kids. We are here just to talk about a few sports incidents that we had. And first, before anything, Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to you, good brother.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into this because I seen you put a post up about New Year and New Year's.
Yes.
I'm not sure if people understand the difference. When you put apostrophe S on something, it means you own it, right?
Right.
That doesn't mean plural. So if you say New Year without the apostrophe S and you just put an S on it, that means multiple, which I appreciate it, but we want to deal with the current situation that's going on.
True.
So don't say New Year's, Happy New Year's Day or Happy New Year's because it's just one day. Like
One day.
New Year is one day.
year.
And my boy was ranting and raving, so I added that to the program because I feel as though he has a right to get this off his chest. So
I'm just a little bit angry. You know, I try to stay in perspective sometimes.
right.
And I get corrected on my English at home a lot.
Oh my God. Most of my cousins are geniuses.
Yeah.
And I got like a lot of educated cousins and they correct me. That's the wrong your. I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't.
Yeah. Like they're like,
just
listen,
wanted to
I just learned this.
just yeah.
like we doing too much. It's
Right,
there.
right. We didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, but just watching like a million people just put it, it's just like, dude, just one of y'all gotta do it right. Just one.
Right.
Just one.
Just get it right. And I seen Lauren do it on purpose. Lauren Bullock is an education bully, so
Yeah.
she definitely knows the difference, and she did it on purpose. And I know RJ's watching, so please correct your wife. Do not let her abuse your friends, because that's how you lose friends.
She's my favorite black friend.
Lauren is my favorite light-skinned black friend. She is my favorite light-skinned black friend. There's a couple, but she's probably
She's
top
up
two.
there because she's
top
completely
two.
she's with it.
She's top two. Coach B's Kids, we have a lot of things coming up. We have a big CBK day. It's gonna be like a youth explosion. We're currently looking for players ages 10 to 17. If you're interested, please contact us on CoachBsKids.com or you can go to CoachBsKids@gmail. So Gerald, what's going on with this schedule, man? I was talking to Timon and a couple other guys. They said you changed the schedule to this upcoming week's games a couple times.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was just like I think you just did multiple days and they were confused, but for any confusion, just let them know.
Yeah. So I sent out both schedules for the final 2 weeks of the regular season. So that's the 7th and the 14th. I don't really have like a breakdown of each team, but there was like confusion, like where some team was supposed to play the same team 2 weeks in a row. But I fixed it. It's nothing.
Right.
You know, just show up and get beat. You know what I mean? That's all I say. You know what I mean?
Show
Or win.
up.
Or
Show
win.
up and get the dub.
You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yo, shout out to Ak, man. Ak is always doing the stats. He'll actually be on the show next week. We're going to be talking some serious stuff with Ak, man. Ak has the greatest Facebook post I've ever seen in my life.
So, are we going to talk about his? Are we going to like talk about his video? His new video?
See, I don't want to get into too much ignorance because we got kids watching.
Gotcha.
So we may give him a few minutes. We'll see how it works out.
Okay.
So this show's kind of special to me, man. I did a lot of preparing, and this next guest we're gonna bring up, man. He's been around since I was a young kid. He actually was around. My father was alive, so he's seen where I get all the craziness from, my size, all of that good stuff. So he's been around quite some time. But before we get into this, What's going on with your team in this going into this playoff run? I heard there's been some discrepancies about who's the greatest shooter. Saying you had one of the greatest shooters in Delaware on your team. I heard these box, and I know a lot of great shooters that are around, so I just wanted to, get your honest opinion on that.
So right now, there's a big discrepancy in who actually is the greatest shooter in Delaware history.
I think that's hard, man, because there's a lot of old-time shooters that you can't leave out. So we're just gonna say the greatest shooter around us now. Let's because saying that's a big statement, because you got AJ English that was a top 10 small forward in the NBA.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to say you're the.
Well, we got a guy right now out of Alabama, and his name is Steve Green, and he says that he's lights out, hands down, the best shooter to ever step in the state. Just let me go ahead and put it out there. I'm not discrediting him by any means, but I will say that on my team, I believe I have at least 2 other shooters.
And that's just on your team.
If not top 10 history, I got at least 2.
Well, first and foremost, Tel Davis is in a lot of Hall of Fame stuff in Delaware, so he has to be top something. And I'm not big on saying, oh, you're the greatest. That man can shoot though. And there's some other shooters out there that don't have the credibility of being or known as a shooter, but you play with them and like, yo, he can shoot, he can shoot. And there's players like that. So I think people get confused with being a great shooter, like within the game, being a game time shooter, and then being like in Hall of Fame shooting. Like there are levels to being a good shooter. Yeah. I can shoot the ball. Am I one of the great shooters in the Hall of Fame? No. I believe, in my opinion, mid-range, I put Reese Farrell up there with a lot of those mid-range shooters. Reese is a bad boy, man. Mid-range shooting, set shooting, there's all different types. Yeah. You know what we're going to do next week? We're going to come up with our own top 10.
I like that.
Let's come up with our own top 10 best shooters in Delaware, or best shooters around us that we know. We'll do that.
Reese will bring something down when I'm beating him up. I'm just going to throw it out there. You know what I mean? I'm going to throw it out there.
Shout out to Reese Farrell and Lace the OG, man. Check him out. Yo, so now we got to get into some really heavy stuff.
Okay.
And I want to bring this next guest in. To me, he is a community leader. He is a business owner he's an owner operator that pretty much will get everybody started. He's very social conscious, family man. He was a little bit of a rebel when I first met him. He was real loose. And just to see, you look at me and you look at where I started and the progress that I had, but it's guys like him that I seen him do it too, and he made it look easy to do. Now we know he put a lot of work in, had tons of kids around him, but he just made it look easy to somebody that I always admired. I've been around him 20 plus years now, and he's one of the guys that if I do have an issue and I am at fault, he'll tell me. It's not a lot of friends that'll do that for you, or leaders or mentors that sometimes they just go along with you and hype you up like, yo man, you're gonna be. But this is the type of person when we can have real conversations. He'll introduce you to real people. He's got a lot of big stuff going on. We're gonna kind of dig into him tonight and pick his brain because we need him to get out, and we kind of bicker back and forth on Facebook about messages and the messenger, which one is more important. So I want to get into that a little later. He's a big time LeBron fan. I feel sorry for him.
That's a good fan right there.
He'll always be number 2 in my eyes. So let's go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. We have Prime Styles owner, barber, Building Bulls director. We got Ed Harrison.
How you doing, brother? How you doing? All right. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the myth, the legend, the owner, the barber, the guy, Ed Harrison. Ed, thank you for coming out. We'd like to thank you for having us each week here at Prime Styles, 8 Halcyon Drive. If you're looking for a job, you're looking for a cut, you're looking for somebody to talk to, get some stuff off your brain, put some goals together, you can always come in here and have a good time. This is exactly where you need to be. Of course, you know my guy, Gerald.
Oh, yeah.
So Ed, I have a few questions. Gerald has a few questions. We're gonna try to get through all of our questions. Then we're gonna go into a rapid fire. We're gonna say something and you give us the first thing that comes to mind. We're gonna talk about a whole bunch of stuff. So
Should I take my drink of water?
you probably need to go ahead and sip that. And do you need an Advil or Tylenol or something?
No, I'm good.
All right, you need something for your stomach because we getting ready to upset you. We getting ready to upset you.
I'm ready, man.
All right, so first and foremost, man, thank you for always allowing us to be here and filming and things like that. The first question I have for you, tell me what being a barber means to you. What does being a barber mean to you first?
You know what? That's a good question because that's a question for me that has evolved into what it is now from when I first started.
Right.
When I first started being a barber was cutting hair,
Right.
opening a barbershop. But being here and doing this for 20-something years, I understand that being a barber is way more than that because you in the community.
Mm-hmm.
You're a community member.
Right.
So in my opinion, being a barber is living up to responsibilities that you have, whether you ask for them or not.
Right.
We cut kids' hair every day. So there's no way that we can or should sit here with all the things that's going around and say nothing.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So being a barber, you're more than just a barber. You're a mentor, you're a brother. I mean, in some ways you're a counselor.
Right.
You wear a whole bunch of different hats, and if you are, in my opinion, a barber, you have to be willing to accept that.
Right. Gerald, what you got for him, Gerald?
What you got, man?
So how did you become involved? Like what led you to cutting hair? Like what brought you in?
Because you just articulated that it's evolved. You evolved into being a mentor and all of that. But what actually made you want to
Because I was lost. And if this is the crazy thing about this trade, man. Because we've been doing films and stuff like that, and we got this little series called The Barber Story, where we actually interview barbers. And the one thing that everybody I've interviewed so far had in common was that none of them grew up thinking or saying to themselves, one day I want to be a barber.
I want to be a barber. Yeah.
Nobody did.
That's a good point. Like that's a really good point.
It's a loss. Well, it's not lost because it's still here in that sense. But as far as being something to aspire to, it's lost within our community, within our demographic.
Right.
And most of the people that are barbers now are barbers because they couldn't find a job.
Right. It's a last resort instead of being.
So it gets disrespected.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So what do you want? Another big question for me. What do you think being a barber does for like this community? You kind of mentioned it where you're a mentor, you and this, but anybody can be a mentor that you see once, twice a week. Anybody. What is it that you think you give off to this Newcastle, especially as you got Cash App, you got Arbor Place, you got all these different surroundings. What do you think you give off that that you do for the community itself?
One of the things that I know this community respects us. When they mention our name, they don't think about the traditional neighborhood barbershops, shootouts, and
Right.
They don't think about that. I mean, we have people that come down here, they leave their kids. They don't worry about coming down here and running into this on the TV or that on the TV.
Right.
So what we, for as far as the community go, I think we provide the community with dependability, maturity. It's a place that they feel safe.
Right. And I think you let in this barbershop, you let people be themselves, and you from my experience, I see you groom guys and they go out into the world and carry those same kind of principles that you put in them.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because, you know, other barbershops, I've been to different barbershops and I followed you. The only place I wasn't going to follow you is when you went into Wilmington. And I said, yo, you need to come back here because this community needs you. And I used to tell you that all the time. And you did. You wound up coming back. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one of the things I do, like when I hire barbers. That's one of the first talks we have. Look, I'm not here to be all over top of your back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what is expected of you.
Right, you know right from wrong because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, this is still a business.
Yeah, and you got to also understand that if you care about your business,
right,
as an individual barber, then I won't have to worry about you doing anything to damage mine.
right, the bigger business. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I give them a chance, and the people that are with me are the people that's supposed to be.
No doubt, no doubt.
You know?
I say that all the time. I'm not going out looking for people because the people that are supposed to hook up with me, I'm already in the chain with them. So,
So you spoke about evolution and how you I guess evolved more or less. But what inspired you to continue like working on your social change? Because now you're on a bigger scale.
right.
So give me a little bit more insight on what made you give that full transition
Into like what I do with
with
mentoring,
mentors and everything.
because man, it's love of your community, it's survival of your community. I mean,
Plus, you have a certain respect too. So, with
Yeah,
that respect, I feel like with you, you're bringing a leadership quality. So it's like, I think that's, I think that's pretty cool. Like, I think that's cool.
But to answer your question, I always say we want to be a barbershop that's a part of the community,
Right.
not just in the community. So if that's the case, what happens out there in the community impacts us here too.
100%.
If this community collapses, then we collapse.
Mm-hmm.
So when I sit around and I look at our community, I look at our people, and like I said earlier, how can I watch what our children are going through in these communities and say nothing?
Right.
You know what I mean? So if I'm true to that, then I have to do.
It's your responsibility.
I have to say
Absolutely.
it's my responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also my pleasure because I love seeing them go from nothing to something. Because most of the time they start out, their bag is empty, and it's not their fault.
Right.
It's nobody's putting nothing in it. We all started out like
Right, no doubt.
a lot like that.
Mhm.
So now for me to be to this point where I'm at now and have things in my bag, why wouldn't I pass it to them?
So
That's
let's
what inspires me to.
So let's keep that going. So you saying that's what inspires you to do all of that. So what's the legacy you're looking to leave? I see you doing this, you got your hands in that, you got your hands in this, you got your hands in that. What's the actual legacy that you're looking to leave? Because I can say, yeah, Ed the barber, and everybody knows you as a barber, but there's so many people that know you as dad, uncle. They know you as, man, we could go to him and get this, we can go to him and find work. What's the legacy? Like, what are you looking to leave behind that your daughter and your sons and everybody will be like, well, my dad was this and he gave us this opportunity. Like, what's Ed Harrison's legacy as far as the person, not just the barber, but what is Ed Harrison's legacy that he's looking to leave?
That I did what I was supposed to do. And what I was supposed to do is care about people. That's like the key to so many of our problems that we go through and we deal with today, because there's a lack of care or empathy for other people. You think about some of the things, some of the social situations we're in now. We're in these situations simply for greed, and that's it.
Right.
There's no better reason, because there's enough space out there for everybody. There's enough food for everybody. There's enough money for everybody,
Right.
but only a few people have it.
Right.
Why is that? Because you got people out there that have no empathy for the next man,
Right.
or the next person. They just don't care. So if I were to leave here today, I would be satisfied if all people said about me was that was a guy right there that cared and that would help. That's all I need. That's all I need.
I think that's important as far as community goes. I think that's really important. So that's
But that's so much. When you
it's,
talk about
it's
community,
big. It's big.
it's
Like,
big
it's
because
big.
we can talk about community on a couple different levels.
Right.
We're talking about community right here where we are.
Just where we are.
But the entire world
Right.
is a community.
Right.
And the same thing that applies on this little scale applies out there.
Of course, and I agree with you, and I think that's important, and leaving that legacy for everybody, not just your own family, is what makes the things of leaders, and that's important to us. It's very important.
So how is it that you're spreading the word? How are you educating the community on what you're doing? Because I know, like, yeah, they can come right through these doors, but
You gotta go out there.
okay.
You have to. I mean, when I look at where I want to get my word, where I want to reach in and who I want to touch, they're not coming. They're not necessarily coming in the barbershop.
Right.
They're not necessarily going to PAL. They're not necessarily in your program because they don't have those kind of things and initiatives put in them. They're walking around out there.
Right.
So if we don't go out there and touch them, what we gonna change?
Right.
You know, so we actually, when we started building bulls, we would have meetings in here, but we were out on the street,
Right.
individually. You know, that's where we did most of our work, in the neighborhoods,
Right.
just walking around talking to people. Because we tried, and I made a mistake, I kind of deviated from my original plan when we set building bulls up.
That
We-
always happens. That's your adjustment
Yeah.
that you make.
But we got smacked in the face and brought back to reality.
Right.
Because we used to always sit there and say the same thing I just said. Man, we can't just go put a building and expect people to come to us. We talking about like, yeah, I don't really want to say because I don't want to knock what no other organizations is trying to do.
Right.
But there are organizations that come and they set up just outside of your community. And they offer these programs and this and that to anybody that wants to come in. But the people that are coming in that are looking for help and this and that are not.
They're not being helped with.
But they're not the main problem.
Right.
So the main problem are the ones that are not.
don't know about it exactly.
So they can know about it. But
Yeah,
it's just not reaching
as
them.
far as knowing and being educated is, I guess, a better term, because, like you said, I do think they know about it. I just think they're not fully educated on.
They don't
with
care.
that.
There's a lot of them that don't care because they don't believe in none of that.
So with that being talking about the community, what are your thoughts on like our current leaders in this community? Like, how do you feel? I know you being at the forefront. We got Gerald, and we got different programs that help try to keep people. But it's like you said, I'll be here, you're here, Gerald's here. We all got our demographic, but we never meet.
That's the problem.
We never meet, and so to me, that's a leadership thing. Like,
It is.
how do you feel about our current leadership as far as like, you know, cops getting involved and the mayor getting involved and like community outreach people actually get involved, and
I think
where's the leadership?
I think we have a lot of people that are leaders within the community. It's a lot of them. We need more. But we also, what we need less of is agendas, individual agendas.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I look at all these different organizations out here. You hear this one's doing this and that one's doing that and that one, all these different things. You would think that you would see some sort of improvement. But what happens is they get divided.
You divide, you make cliques.
You're right, and it's a reason because they suffer. They go through the same social impacts too, the same problems too, because there's only so much money that these programs can get. So what they started doing is rather than helping each other, they start sort of battling with each other,
Right.
elbowing each other out the way. Well, I'm gonna do this is the best way. I need to do that, and it
But that's
doesn't work.
America. America
It
is based on that now, because I look at it this way, and I had a meeting last night, and we're gonna have a youth explosion March 10th. Coach B's kids. We partnered up with Newcastle County Police, Buffalo Wild Wings, Fuddruckers. We partnered up with Sky Zone. We got Building Bulls. We got Lace the OG. We got All City Classic Thrill 2, Ebony's Haven. We got Who else is in there? Mills Comedy. We got all these different people that we're partnering up with because now is the time. I feel just like you. This year, 2018, for Coach B's kids and the people around me, as I said, people are put in your place for a reason.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bull Body. Bull Body has been with me for the last 2 summers, and this is going to be our summer of coming out. And this year, I have a platform, and I feel like the NFL players. I have a message to get out. My message is not social injustice. It's not health insurance. It's for you to come in, celebrate the youth, and celebrate the people around you. We're going to have a big event, and of course you guys are going to be there. All City Classic, I'm happy to have you guys. We're going to have this big thing, like I said, March 10th. We're going to have so many giveaways. We're going to have music by MJE. Shout out Lebron James. Like, we got so many good people coming around. And what I explained to everybody, and we're talking about leadership. So as far as me being the leader of what my plan is, and I was telling the guys last night, and I hope they didn't take it disrespectfully, but it was, I don't care what you have going on right now. Like, what your problem is your problem. What I'm trying to do is pull us all together and give us the same to equal platform to be in the same building so they can see all 5 of these huts in one big community. We're speaking the same way. You can learn about your program, my program, Team Bull Body's program. You can learn about MJE and how he does his music. There's a free book exchange with Ebony's Haven. It's just so many positive people around me. And I pulled an ostrich. Ostrich just stand there, look around, see his surroundings, and then put their head in the sand. And I always look like, everybody's like, oh no, you don't include us when you do this. You don't do this, you don't do that. It's because I was so focused on building my youth program that I wanted no distractions. And not to say anybody was a distraction, but their focus is not like mine because as a leader, I have so many kids that depend on me. So many parents that depend on me to educate them. So I have to fully educate myself, make my mistakes myself, reach out to the people I need to educate me on the mistake I made. This way, when I go out to my community, my message is positive. I can tell you where I messed up at. I can give you everything because the most thing I have right now is my family. One thing you can't fake is your family. You can't fake your family. Meaning your immediate family, your kids, your wife, your girlfriend, the people you live with. Your outside family, they're just your relatives. I'm talking about your family in your house. Nothing matters more to me than my family members in my house. So if I'm willing to open up my family doors and have you come in and mingle with that family, I can't lie to you about it because they'll tell you the truth. Because they can only tell you what they know, what they see, what we're going through. And that's how I look at leadership. It's like we talk about having these programs and they're divided. That's why they're divided. Because they have so many skeletons that they haven't dealt with, and then you throw money on top of it and it automatically divides you. One of the messages last night in my meeting was, if you're here just to make money, then leave. Because you're never going to be successful. I would rather charge a person $1 a day than to have them come for 10 days and charge them $100 because I make out better. They make out better. They get more experience. More experience. Like I see guys that do leagues like we do. If you divide up what you have per player, it winds up being like what, $65, $70?
Not even that.
Not even. But then they'll go to another community and pay $1,000 per team where you got the same thing at home that you're not even being a part of.
Right.
And you're actually getting more because we have similar stories. I don't need somebody with another story. Unless I'm trying to take myself away from you guys to learn, to bring it back and share it. That's different. And that's why I feel like, that's why I asked you about leadership, because I feel like the leaders now have so much in their history that they can't get past it. So it becomes like those old sweatsuits that you got a guilty pleasure for, that you can't get rid of. But the moment somebody opens it, you say, "Oh yeah, I meant to throw that away. I didn't want you to see that." You know, and we get caught up in things of that nature, which to me that's horrible. That's horrible.
See, I think some of them skeletons and stuff that you might be talking about might be simple things such as greed and hidden agendas. They go into it for the wrong reasons. You got nonprofits now.
Right.
That people are they're popping up all over the place, but they're opening these nonprofits to make a profit.
To make a profit, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they don't understand. It's crazy. They put themselves in danger with taxes. They put themselves in danger with just people in general. You put them in bad spaces.
Yeah, because look what happened to their purpose. The purpose is gone.
The purpose is gone once you get
the purpose is gone, so the problem still exists.
But that's one of the big things I always say, and people always miss it. You can't forget why you came. If you forget why you came, there's no point in you being here.
Yeah, you lost focus. And that's a good way to end up with nothing getting done.
So what are ways that young people can get with you and be effective in the community so that they can make change with you?
They can contact me here, or they can come here and visit. You know, we right here at 8 Halcyon Drive.
Prime Styles, 8 Halcyon Drive. Ask for Ed Harris.
Yep. Our phone number is 384-7501. My personal cell number is all over Facebook and everything else if anybody want to get.
Prime Styles is on Facebook at Prime Styles.
Yeah, we're there, and my cell number is 302-293-7461. We're on YouTube. We have a Building Bulls page on YouTube.
Right.
Where we
So let's talk about that. What is the Building Bulls project about? And how does the program actually affect the local neighborhood? Like, how does the local kids, because I know like pals over here, things like that, but Building Bulls is taking on a different, so explain, give me some more details, and I think that'll kind of...
I think we're more personal than your pals and, you know, play people like that, because we've actually been inside these homes, these kids' homes.
Right.
So we had a good program over the summer where we set up a program and we partnered with Summer Youth Program.
Right.
I gotta thank them because they gave us 15 jobs.
Who's them?
It was Matt Meyer. Matt Meyer headed it. It was through everything was done through Charles Madden and Matt Meyer. Set us up, gave us, told us to go ahead and pick 15 kids out and we'll pay them for you.
Nice.
So we set up the program and we ran it all summer. And we were able to get kids in, and we were able to reach and touch kids on a real personal level. So we actually think that through our program, what we try to do in our program, we try to get them to see themselves, to look at themselves different, to look at themselves,
to give them some hope. Yeah.
But then we want to make them look at the reality of the decisions that they're making now.
Right.
The reality, because they can get this little, you know, false definition of what they're doing.
Right.
But we want to make them look at the reality and how it impacts them.
Right.
And we found a way to do that this year. We started, which brings me to our YouTube page, we started having them write PSA messages and film the PSAs and acting them out.
Right.
Through that.
And what's your YouTube page in case anybody wants to?
It's Building Bulls, simply. It's Building Bulls. You'll see our logo.
Right.
You got a logo.
I do have a logo. I don't have it on me, but I do have the logo. It's a big elephant with big arms coming out the tusk. It's a dope logo.
Yeah.
Real dope logo.
Kind of looks like these guns right here.
It's probably a little bit bigger than.
Just
a little bit. Not too much though. I know you be hitting the gym and stuff.
Yeah, but you go there. You go to Building Bulls, and you'll see the messages. You'll see some of the films that they developed. We got like 2 short films that they developed.
Nice.
Real short. And we're working on a full-length movie with them.
Nice.
So through that, we've actually got them to look at themselves and look at what they're doing.
Right.
Through
that PSA message.
Through them acting it out.
Right.
You know, because when the program was over, when the summer program was over and they weren't getting paid anymore, they came to me and said, "Ed, can we keep doing? Can we keep going?"
Right.
So that was like, so we're still doing it. We still meet. We haven't been meeting as often,
right,
but we still meet.
But I think with this with this show, this youth explosion we're gonna do on March 10th. I would like them, and shout out to my boy Mills. Mills is gonna be the MC of the night, and he'll be walking around interviewing people. And I would like them to film everything he does, not just as a Facebook Live, but also putting it on YouTube and getting all of those things together. I think that would be really, really cool. And then it gives everybody else around us kind of like a exploitation of what we do ourselves. And that's what I want at the show, to have a bunch of different vendors. We'll have Lace the OG, Building Bulls. We'll have Ebony's Haven. We'll have Team Bull Body. You have Coach B's Kids. You'll have Newcastle County Police Department. They're coming out. Buffalo Wild Wings will be there. Fuddruckers will have something there. Sky Zone. So it'll be all these different things that they can come and kind of get some information on. And then we're challenging everybody. I'm putting everybody on notice. I'm putting All City Classic on notice. Coach B's Kids is coming for that ass. Team Bull Body, we are coming for that ass. Lace the OG, you get your team together, we coming for that ass. Everybody that wants to go against Coach B's Kids as a program, we are opening up cans right now. If you're interested, please reach out to these guys, because we are definitely all about getting in that ass. So whenever you guys are ready, go ahead and get your teams together. It's 10 players per team. It's 115 per team, and I have jerseys and shorts. All you little cute guys are coming together. But as we can see, Coach B's Kids will get the trophy at the end of the game. I'm just letting everybody know we have neutral referees. We're not paying referees off. We're definitely not doing that. So anybody that wants to challenge us, we are ready. If you're looking to play and you're not a part of Coach B's Kids, you need to reach out to the other guys to get on their teams, because we're already locked. So don't even ask me.
I just have a question. Does that mean you're pushing the agenda towards my 33 and over?
I am.
If you don't want those kind of problems, you can let me know right now.
First and foremost, we don't have no old 33 and over guys in our program.
I'm just making
However, Reese, you better get your 21 to 28-year-old team together, because Kenny and them is ready, and they waiting. They've been talking to me all day. We're going to do whatever you want to do. RJ, if you want to be a part of this, you can reach out to your boy. We'll find a spot for you, and you can get trashed on another team too, unless you stand with the home team. You have that option. You know that. All right. Enough of this depressing talk and all this other stuff. Ed, I want to talk to you about something. And right now is the time that you're going to be into your feelings right now. So let's go ahead and jump into the sports side of everything that's going on. First of all, I want to thank you for letting us have it here at Prime Styles, 8 Halcyon Drive. Anybody looking for a haircut, he's around. There's tons of barbers. Everybody just come through. He's easy to get in contact with. If you are 33 and over, you can't be 30, you can't be 29 for you young punks. You got to be 33 and over. You can reach out to Gerald. And he's easy to get in contact with. If you can't get in contact with him, you get in contact with me, and then I will definitely forward it to him. So I know a lot about you, Ed. I know a lot about you. And one thing I know about is you are, for some reason, for some strange, demented reason, you are an Eagles fan.
Oh, hey man.
Wait, so hold on.
First of all,
I didn't even know that.
Just let me.
Okay.
Let me
go ahead.
And then I'm definitely gonna pass it over to you.
Okay.
Because you're a Baltimore fan, right?
That is correct.
Don't y'all got championships?
We got those rings.
Look, we got
rings
rings too, man.
I know y'all beat us for a ring.
Yeah.
I was kind of mad at that. But you know who we beat? Tom Brady and them.
Facts.
So we beat them 2 times.
Yeah, it was
2 times. So before we get into all this, and clear, I don't want to hear nothing from you, because I don't even know what team they like. You don't know if you're an Eagles fan, Georgia fan. I don't know where you're going with your
He
life.
likes the Las Vegas Argonauts.
Oh my. So back to you. So I was listening to First Take this morning, and they're talking about Hall of Fame stuff. So I did a couple of comparisons, and how do you rate this year's Carson Wentz Eagles team that probably are going to make it to the Super Bowl versus
Super Bowl.
the McNabb and them team that went up against Tom Brady and them? Like, how do you rank the teams? And I'm talking about with Carson Wentz. Like, let's just use the if game. If he was still playing and they went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots, do you think
this team would beat them?
Do you think this team would have a chance to beat them? Because McNabb was thrown up the last time, so I don't know. If
You know what, man? The strange thing is that people get mad at me. Eagles fans get mad at me.
Right.
But McNabb was never one of my favorite quarterbacks.
Right.
And
I can see that.
it's hard because Carson Wentz hasn't given us a lot of history to look at yet.
Right.
But if I'm just going to go on what he has given me, I like him better than I like McNabb. With the little intangible thing.
That's not what I asked you, though.
What did you ask?
You're
How do
tiptoeing
I
around
rate
the question.
the teams?
I asked you, how do you rate this team going to the Super Bowl with Carson Wentz versus going there with that same team that went, that Brian Dawkins, those
But that was a team that was supposed to be there. That was a good team.
Again, you're not answering.
I'm asking you a question. I rate that team.
Right, that team was supposed
I
to
think
be
that
there.
team was better than this team.
You don't think this Eagles team is supposed to be there? Because the defense is not really that different.
Listen, if I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to be honest, y'all going to be honest, none of us sitting here expected that team to be in the Super Bowl.
That team?
That Eagles team.
No.
Yes, I did.
That
Did
defense
you?
was crazy.
You looked at it last year?
I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about the McNabb team.
Yeah, that McNabb
I went to the games. I was
I'm
Monday Night Football
talking
game.
about this team.
Oh, this team, man.
No, you're going to lose Baltimore Colors.
I'm talking about this team right here. Nobody expected this team to be.
That's not true.
You expected this team?
Even this year, who in the NFC was better than the Eagles?
No, my question was, did you expect them to be in the Super Bowl?
The way they wiped out everybody in our division, we have the toughest division in football. Listen to what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about after games played. I'm talking about when this season started. Did you expect this team to be in the Super Bowl?
You can't have an expectation until you see something. What I'm saying is, I seen that and I said, they're going to wipe everybody out. When they beat us with a 62-yard field goal, we gave them the toughest game.
No, I didn't expect this team at the beginning of the season to be where they are now.
Why? With that defense. That's
I'm gonna tell you.
Even at the beginning of the season, I was watching First Take.
Because
everybody said, oh, the Giants,
all right,
this,
man,
that.
you asking me questions, man. You gonna let me answer the question?
All right, I'm listening.
All right, now. This team right here, if you watch what they did last year, there's too much unknown going into the season. Is Carson
But it
Wentz-
wasn't. They filled those
I'm
gaps.
still trying to finish it.
They
I'm
filled those
explaining all
gaps.
this to you. You don't know what they were going to be. One, because of your quarterback. You know, that sophomore slump. We didn't know if he was going to have a sophomore slump.
Right.
We didn't know all that. We didn't know if he was going to progress like that. We didn't know how their coaching was going to improve from last year. It was just so much that we didn't know. Because you look at last year, they lost a few games on coaching decisions. They lost a few games last year, too, because of Carson Wentz's inexperience. Nobody knew this dude was going to step up and ball out like the way he balled.
But even if
Now I'm
even
trying
if
to
he
get back to
didn't,
your original
even
question.
if he didn't,
That McNabb team, we watched them work their way up. And when they went to that Super Bowl, they got better because they pulled in T.O., they had all these other, they had a proven track record. And how many division titles had they won before that?
But that's what I seen from y'all when they see like over the summer. I'm watching like, yo, they picking pieces up.
But this is- that's what I'm trying to say.
This is the chess game I've ever seen. Like they were playing
they
chess.
actually
all
put
summer.
smart things together. They did.
They did.
I didn't have an expectation
but you
until
still
they
don't
beat
know whether
us.
that's going to work until they get on the football field.
You know why?
Because look what the Redskins did
because
that
of-
year.
because
When
of
they went
just
and got
what you
all
said.
these- all of
It's the Redskins.
It didn't
Yeah,
work.
it's the
It cost $20.
No.
I can get the Pittsburgh $30
on a 50-yard line.
For real.
Nobody care about
No.
that.
You can park inside stadium.
Hot dog guy come out to you.
Yeah, man. But my point is, you can put all these pieces together over the offseason. You don't know whether the pieces going to work until they step on the field.
But the reason I say, again, with me and the Eagles
I
team
picked them to go 10-6.
this year,
11-5.
Do you know why?
Before they started playing this year. Now, when I started seeing them ball, these boys.
but this is what I'm saying. The toughest game they played was the Giants in week 3. They beat us with a 62-yarder. Dallas was already falling apart. The Deadskins was gone. Who else was? We had the toughest division in football. If you're running through the guys, they projected
We
us.
do not have the toughest division in football.
So who has
Not
the
now. We
AFC
don't.
South. Or not AFC South.
No,
AFC
NFC.
North.
Who?
You got Atlanta and
Atlanta's
I'm
garbage.
talking about Atlanta. What division is that? Where they got
The Minnesota, Detroit.
Nah, I'm thinking about.
They garbage.
It was Seattle. Who was all in contention? Seattle,
Carolina,
Saints. That division, but it was tough.
They're not.
We think in that division was Tampa Bay Bucks.
Listen to me.
That's a tough division.
We have the toughest division in football.
We have the most.
Period.
We have the most inconsistent.
You know why? Because we beat up on it. We just like your division. The difference is y'all have the Browns in y'all division. That's a guaranteed win. The Bengals, guaranteed win. These are guaranteed wins. Whenever we play, even just this last game.
Our division is down.
Even this last game with the Eagles and Dallas is terrible. That was a
2-win team in our division.
So?
We had a 2-win team pulling our division down. We cannot say
still had the toughest defense. We still.
The Browns have 0 wins.
That's what I'm saying.
And I ain't saying that division was the toughest division.
That's the.
But they are.
I think our division is the toughest
in Tennessee. Come on, man.
The levels of disrespect.
It's coming out of Eagles' mouth talking about a 2-6 season.
Man,
let's talk about all 4 of these rings we got. Where y'all?
Oh, there you go. See, this is what happens.
There we go. All right,
let's talk about move on.
We go.
Hold on.
Everybody wants to pull out their class rings and their yearbooks.
That's right.
You know what I mean? We want to look back.
Do you have one?
This year. Yeah, we do.
You have a world championship.
So what? It's a ring.
That is not a ring. You get a jacket when you do world championship.
Man.
Baseball players get world championship.
You can't win what didn't exist at the time.
It exists now. Y'all been in the same amount of time we've been.
I got something for him. So I know I'm a Ravens fan, right? Right. So on average, we win a championship every 10 years.
Right.
So what's the excuse?
And the Giants have 4, and I've seen all 4 of them in my 33 years of living.
Look, it's a known fact that a
Yeah,
lot of owners come to Philadelphia just to make money. No matter what you put on the field, people
But football
want to
is like that in general because look at the Browns. Remember when the Browns said they was going to change their helmets?
Yeah, when the Browns win a championship.
But that's my point exactly. And they still billionaires because people are dumb enough to pay that $36 to sit down.
They have won a championship.
And that's how it goes.
Because prior to them being the Browns, they were the Ravens. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, so they do that shit.
So technically,
They don't have that city. Don't have no chance.
Oh my God.
That city don't have no chance.
So
y'all cheap.
I have another question.
Everybody want to separate the rings, man. Rings, man.
Rings is
rings.
You gotta have bling, yo. Like you need Super Bowl. That's
ours was a little down.
That's current.
It
wasn't. All y'all got was a jacket and a coffee.
We got rings.
We got
championship rings.
Did not get rings.
They did get NFL
They gave you
championship
ring
by dog tags.
That's ring box.
Yo, the Pearson Pagoda.
Man.
You had 3 for 10 off the little thing. You pull them off the kiosk.
Like I say, man, anything that can happen will happen, and we're gonna have.
You sound like Dallas.
So you get one this year. I doubt it. But let's get to the bigger facts here, because that's not going to happen.
Let's get to the meat.
So right now, Hall of Fame is up, and I think it's T.O. and Brian Dawkins. Who should get in first, or should they both get in at the same time?
T.O. and Brian Dawkins, I think to their positions, they both brought that same quality. So they should both get in at the same time.
So I'm
I hope it doesn't come down to.
Literally, I think it's them two. It's their turn right now.
Yeah, Eagles wise, it's them too.
I have no reason. I see no reason why they neither one.
I have a bigger question. I respect that question, but I have a bigger question. So T.O. has been getting shafted the last 2 ceremonies. Do you think behavior should stop you from getting in, or is T.O. just being profiled?
I think it depends on what the behavior is. I don't think T.O. has done anything to bar him from the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I don't. It's not like he did what Pete Rose did.
Right.
You know, or
because these, I agree because those are game-changing things that
they did.
I appreciate what you said about Pete Rose. That was my guy.
That's your guy?
That was my guy.
Yo, you look like a Pete Rose.
Yo, that was my guy. That was my guy. That kind of hurt this man.
But Pete's still messing.
Like I was out in Vegas. I was
still getting
there.
Pete's still messing.
He can't stop.
Yeah.
He can't stop.
Yeah. But you know, honestly, unless you can prove that man gambled on games that he was playing in or he could control, so what? Let him in the Hall of Fame. But they say I don't know all the facts.
And that's the thing.
I don't know all the facts.
They won't let all the facts out because it's probably not that bad.
Yeah.
But if we hold it from you and we just give you a little nugget of it, it's bad. You know, it's really bad.
Well, I don't care what anybody says. What I saw on that field, on that baseball field, the football field, and baseball field, when it goes down to Pete Rose to T.O. and Donnie Dawkins was greatness.
Right. They did great things. And this is the thing. Whether he was a bad teammate or not, your stats don't lie.
Correct.
No.
Your stats, that's the facts. The facts are you are second amongst receptions. You're third amongst yards. Like those touchdowns, I think he's second in touchdowns behind Randy Moss. Behind Jerry Rice and then it's Randy Moss.
I think as of last season, T.O., at his age, where he was at, was probably still better than 50, 60% of the receivers.
Because now all of these guys can't catch.
They
Like
can't
everybody
catch.
screams about Des Bryant. Des Bryant dropped.
Everything.
He would, if you rolled him the ball, he'd probably drop that too. He's going across the middle. He's hitting his numbers. He's dropping it. He's talking about not getting passes. You just dropped 8 of the 11 passes I sent to you.
Yep.
And you 6'9", 280. You bigger, faster,
Dennis is just
stronger.
overrated, man. He's been over. He had one
Good year. And they signed him to all that money. And you know what money does? It makes you trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Money
I mean,
makes you
and if
trash
you
and you
look
fall.
at his T.O.'s attitude versus his, what's the difference?
But that's my point exact. I bet you any amount of. I think the only reason he's not in the Hall of Fame, I blame Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones can stop anything in the world from happening, yo.
Yeah,
He's one of those guys. Like, nope, don't let him in.
He sent him to football Siberia when he sent them to Buffalo.
Yep.
It ruined him. It wrecked
It
him.
ruined him
It took him straight. You didn't hear his voice almost, his name
at
all
all.
season.
Because when you want to go to die, you go there. You go to the Browns.
Yeah.
You can go to Miami.
He went in and push-ups on the front lawn.
Word.
Do you think
He don't even do sit-ups.
what's the receiver, man? The guy that played for Cincinnati all those years.
Chad Ochocinco.
Is he in the Hall of Fame yet?
Nope.
He is not. He walks around with his own maid
Now,
jacket.
do you think he should be in there?
I don't, but I don't think his numbers are as good as
His
T.O.'s.
numbers aren't as good.
Exactly.
He was a good highlight reel, but
He was a great-
his numbers wasn't.
He was a great prop. That's what he was.
Exactly.
He plays like soccer now or something. He plays soccer now. He's in Miami, like on South Beach, kicking soccer balls in his hand.
With the Indians. He
Yeah,
kicking around.
it's odd. But
All right, so before we get out of here, you know how I like to agitate people some more.
I need a drink of water.
So we got this guy, man, and he's probably number 2 all time.
Oh man, yeah, I need a drink of water on this one.
He just partnered up with my boy Isaiah Thomas, who's gonna put him over the hump.
you say he partnered up?
So what's
Put him over the
So what's your favorite team and your favorite player? Because they're probably not on the same team.
They're not.
Yo, shout out to all the fake fans. Cleo Green, he doesn't know if he likes the Sixers from the 70s, 80s, 90s. He can't tell you nobody on the Sixers right now. But shout out to Cleo Green, man. He's the biggest. I don't know what team I'm going for. All he knows is he wanted to go to Georgia.
He has a Joel Embiid G-Unit wife beater.
Oh my God. And he got the headband to match the sleeve. So,
My favorite team, man, is the Philadelphia 76ers.
Philadelphia 76ers,
That's
man.
my favorite team.
Wow.
It's my birthplace, man.
That doesn't make it okay.
That
Is
does
it okay?
That's
In fact, I don't understand you guys who don't. Well, you do.
Okay, let's.
I don't understand how you
First and
are a
foremost,
Racing fan.
First and
You
foremost,
from here, right?
My daddy is from there.
What did
I
that
don't know
explain?
about there. I've been
Your
there.
dad from Baltimore? Okay, well, that explains it.
Yeah.
So then I'm from Philly.
But I'm not
we're
accepting it.
we're not questioning.
We're not questioning it though.
Your
Do I
loyalty.
got to do Obama and pull out my birth
Yeah,
certificate?
we're
Or
not-
you just not accepting my
I'm just not
birth
accepting this.
No. This is how you get rejected at your own barbershop.
See that?
You still my guy. I'm
He's
just
definitely
not
still my
accepting
guy. However,
My player is LeBron James.
Oh,
it. I'm not mad at that at all. I
See,
can
this-
respect that. Now we have my
this
favorite
is the
player.
number 2 player. See, this is
I'm
mediocrity
saying
at
that's
its
number
best.
2, man. What's with this number 2?
Mediocrity at its best. This is celebrated mediocrity. First of all, Larry Bird was the greatest small forward of all time, and I'm just going to leave that there. If you want to compare numbers, go ahead and compare numbers. You can't compare 10 years to 15 years. Jordan did 12 years, LeBron's still 15 and supposed to be at the peak, but he needs Isaiah Thomas to beat the Warriors or whoever else he's trying to play. He had to go get Dwayne Wade for his emotional stuff. So when he breaks down, he can go talk to his big brother and everything is okay. So he'll have 35, 10, and 10.
This is heavily
and that's how it goes.
biased.
That's how it goes. Now, do I think he's a great player? Absolutely.
Now, you can't say all that stuff.
He's the best player in basketball right now. He's better than a lot of guys.
Michael Jordan used to walk around with his hand in Scottie Pippen's back pocket, and this is how we gonna act.
But because Scottie Pippen knew to have his pocket ready when Jordan came over to grab it. He knew what it was. He knew what it was. He didn't have any emotional attachments to, I gotta go get D Wade to make sure if my back is hurting, you can talk me off the ledge. Like, what are you doing?
See, I'm not gonna let you talk
what
about
are you gonna
Michael
do with your
Jordan.
life?
I'm not gonna let you get me to talking about Michael Jordan because that was one of my favorite players.
I know it was. So for you to go from Michael Jordan to this
I like greatness. Man.
mediocrity
greatness.
to
This
I
is
just,
why.
I heard that.
I like greatness.
He likes greatness.
Greatness. I
Why
like
doesn't
that.
he like KD or somebody that?
That's not greatness. That is not greatness.
Now, Juice,
He ain't even allowed in Baltimore.
now, wait a
not allowed in
second.
Baltimore.
You
Right.
talk about somebody that had to get help getting over the top, and then you mentioned
didn't-
LeBron before you
The
mentioned
only
KD.
reason he left is because Westbrook won't
No,
pass.
he wanted to win the championship.
He doesn't want to pass.
He wanted to
He
win the
does
championship.
Pass the ball.
To who?
To the bums he's got
The
now.
only reason he passes it now is the stat
This
stat
guy-
stuffer.
this-
That's what he's
This
doing.
guy
He
went.
wasn't converting then either.
This guy went
You
to
can't
a
give
team.
a good guy the ball with 3 seconds left and say, "Oh, here, score," because they double teaming me. Now you want to pass it to me? I'm getting the hell out of here.
Michael Jordan did it all the time to Steve Kerr.
Yeah, but Steve Kerr had one job. That was it. Kevin Durant didn't have one job.
He ain't got no job. He's out there.
He don't got no
This
job.
guy,
now.
he went somewhere
He's
where
trying
he
to
knew
fight
he-
now.
This guy goes to a team that's coming off the best record in NBA history,
Right?
and he joins that team.
Got you.
And you saw him talking about help?
But he's the guy there. He's not the help.
Oh, he came in as the help.
He came in because
Until they
could've won-
realized he's the guy.
They could've
He's
won
not
the
the guy.
championship
He's
without
definitely
him.
the guy.
No.
He's the
He's
guy.
the decoy. He's the decoy.
He made their
And I don't
defense
know how
better.
many
He made
games-
their shooting
I
better.
don't know how
He's
many
the
games,
guy.
I don't know how many games, OKC games, where I watched KD single-handedly blow it down the stretch himself. When he was with Golden State,
Now-
let me finish this,
okay.
because this is an important point. When he was with Golden State, Green, at the end of this game, KD took a shot, missed it. Green pulled him to the side, told him, no, that's not how we play here. That's not how we play here.
But he's a little different.
That's not how we
We're
play
not
here.
talking about Green.
No.
We're talking about KD.
I'm talking
the guy.
about
But he-
KD.
So if it was
He's not the
LeBron,
guy.
he would have
Yeah,
drove in the
come
lane
over.
and kicked it out. Like that's you're the guy. You got to shoot the ball. Now I will say this about
No,
LeBron.
he had to be taught how to
He's
win.
shooting the ball now.
Oh,
He's shooting the ball at a very high level,
He's evolving.
and he's getting You know what's happening?
He's still evolving.
His decline is happening because his jump shot is getting better. Now tell me that's not true.
It's not declining.
Tell me that's not true. He's not. Before he would drive and run you over and dump the ball. Now he's bitching about foul calls.
Because he's smart.
It's
It's about the preservation of life. You gotta preserve yourself.
And then they're making him. First of all, Ty Lue, he needs to go. He's got LeBron playing 58 minutes a game. He's only getting 2-minute breaks.
You think about this.
In the
LeBron.
15th season,
Let me
this
ask
is
you.
your guy.
Let me
Like,
ask you
nah,
a question
man.
about LeBron. What good coach has he ever had?
He's never had a good coach.
Never.
But do you know why? Because you can't coach players like that. You can't. He's not coachable because of his IQ. How can you coach that?
Is that
Magic
credit-
Johnson.
is that a credit to his IQ?
Absolutely. But you can't throw coaching in if you're gonna have a guy that
This dude,
why he left the
he's
Heat.
made coaches.
You know why he left the Heat?
Who?
LeBron. Because Pat Riley told him you have to let Eric Spoelstra coach.
I ain't.
You telling me Eric Spoelstra's a good coach? He's a better coach without LeBron on him.
I don't know that.
Because it forces him to coach. You don't have to coach me. Have LeBron, Kobe, Jordan, those type of guys. You don't have to coach.
You still got to coach.
You absolutely don't. You know what you got to do?
You are a coach.
Do you know what you have to do?
What you gonna do if you had a player
You
like
have
LeBron?
to manage their personalities because basketball's natural to them.
At this point in his career, maybe, but he didn't start out like that.
Yes, he did. That's what makes him a great player because of his
He
IQ.
started out being uncoachable. Is that what you're saying?
I'm telling you, it's almost impossible to coach those guys like Kobe, those guys like LeBron because their IQs are so high, they're already making the adjustment for you. It's easy money. The thing you have to do is build a relationship with them and manage their personalities.
Well, let's get back to the original. What were you saying? You were saying this.
I'm just saying he's number 2 all time.
But that's your opinion.
Number
I can't
2 of
argue
what?
with your opinion.
Number 2 of basketball players.
What do you mean? I'm confused at your whole
I'm
statement.
saying Michael Jordan is like, number 1 is
How
Michael.
are you saying Michael
And
Jordan
then
is
number 2
1?
because Michael Jordan took time off and still
Time out.
never left
Time out.
greatness.
Time out. He did not take
If
time
Michael
off.
Jordan played 15 straight years, you telling me he will only have 6
Did you
championships?
see how fast he declined? Nope. He beat
Oh my God. He's still beating high school kids now. Like he's
not really beating high school.
You're not going to use
He's
that.
not beating high school kids.
I'm just saying like
that. Come on, man.
I'm just saying, if Mike did 15 straight years like LeBron, I'm not saying that his body would be the same. I'm not saying his numbers would, I'm saying his championships will be a lot greater. We will be talking about him with Bill Russell and them
And
guys.
this is why I wouldn't. Because keep in mind,
But yeah, he played on some good teams.
he had to play against what? When he played against, he was still with the Bulls when he played against AI, and AI gave him that work. And then the next season when he came back, you know what he did? Yo, y'all got to change that because that young boy put that work on me. I can't be out here like
AI did that.
Y'all got
listen,
real crazy
you're
right now.
not going to blame Jordan for AI being the creator of everything. He made people understand I'm not wearing a
Jordan
suit.
stay in front of
Like
me to do that.
he changed everything.
Yeah, but what I'm
I'm not
saying is-
giving Jordan credit for AI changing the league.
No. What I'm saying is,
he's number 1, but he's not
what
that
I'm saying
kind of
is,
goat, like-
AI is the reason why he wasn't getting 6. Because keep in mind, the Lakers had got better at that point.
Nah, I'm not going to
The
say that.
Lakers were better.
I'm not going to say that.
Think about it.
I'm not going to say that.
Why are you not going to say it?
I'm not.
He didn't
I'm
get
not
6.
Who, Jordan?
His 6 was that was it.
I thought he got 6. Oh, you
No,
said
he got it 6. It wouldn't have been no more because the league at that point it was making that turning
So
point.
let me enlighten you on some stuff. Do you think Michael Jordan, the highest competitor, and this is what I want y'all to understand. This is what I want you to understand. Michael Jordan in NBA is uncontrollable. Do you think the man that won all of those championships, that changed the game, did all of that, is going to sit back and let the whole game evolve around him and not say, I need this player, and that player, and if you don't do it, you're going to use your coach. You're going to lose this.
I'm not going to speculate. You
That's
said
because you're a
that
Sixer fan. You're not allowed to speculate. You talk about 1s and 2s. You know? Billy King was your guy. Billy King would have did everything with Jordan. Hey, what you want me to do?
You in the kitchen sink? Got that. Don't worry about it. It's right next to the bench.
Everybody
Everybody hated. Shout out to Billy King, you bum. You ruined a lot of stuff, man. You ruined a lot of
Sixers.
But again, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying with guys like that, then it's AI's ego versus Billy King. Back then, it wasn't a players' league. It was all about your coaching and your GMs and your stuff like that. Now, it's about the players. If Jordan was playing in the era with LeBron, you don't think he would change a lot of that?
Who, Jordan would?
Yeah.
It's hard to say, man. Yeah, it probably would. It would be
He
different.
would. If AI was playing right now, he would change everything.
He changed everything.
Do you know what he would have changed
Right.
if he was here doing that?
I mean,
Because guys like Magic and Bird, they just cultivated everything. Isaiah, they cultivated. They wanted to be good. These dudes was bad boys that didn't care about.
Man,
These were
talking
real
about
bad
players
boys,
that,
yo.
when you start talking about players that really impacted the game and changed it on the court, the first thing that comes to my mind is Shaq, man. Come on, man. They changed the shape of the three-point line. They start calling defensive 3 seconds. All this stuff because this dude was straight unstoppable. Now that, to me, is really impacting
So
the game.
let's go back to another question. Then I got a question for you. Name your top 5 centers all time.
That's tough.
I know it's tough, but you just said
Do I have to order them? Do I have
Shaq
to put them in
came in
order?
it. Yes, of course you got to put them in order.
If I got to put them in order, my first center that I'm going to pick is going to be Hakeem Olajuwon.
How? If Shaq was the most dominant and changed the 3-point line and changed this?
Because I guess it's based on what I like, and I like what O'Neal brought to the table.
So how is he not number 1 if that's how you feel?
Not O'Neal. I mean Olajuwon.
Olajuwon?
Olajuwon is the big man tutor nowadays.
He is the foot man.
He's the foot specialist.
Yeah, he's the foot specialist.
Yeah, because his footwork, his ball handle, he can shoot you, he can take you outside, he can go inside, he can dominate you inside, he defend, he block shots. That's my favorite center of all time.
So we got your Olajuwon's your number 1. What's next? Shaq is 2. What's next?
Gets a little tougher from here, man. Gets a little tougher from here. I gotta go with Tim Duncan, man.
Tim Duncan was a 4. They have him classified as a 4.
All right. Give me Dave Robinson.
David Robinson.
Give me Dave Robinson.
So that's your 3. We got
Give me
Olajuwon,
Chamberlain
Shaq,
and Kareem.
Chamberlain, Kareem.
Yeah.
What about Russell? What about Baylor?
So you can name. It's a lot of guys.
What about Patrick? Where you went, Patrick?
No. Patrick lost my respect when he got the shot block when he should have dunked it.
He didn't get a shot block. He finger rolled it instead of dunking it.
Yeah.
I got you.
I'm done with him. See, that's your boy.
He had the volleyball knee pads on. I was already done at that point. This dude.
And I watched Patrick. I watched Patrick.
Volleyball knee pads.
See, greatness got a way of showing up at the right time.
Mm-hmm. For
Patrick, that didn't happen consistently enough for me.
What about Lonzo Mourning? These are defensive guys. What about
Lonzo Mourning was probably one of the greatest support centers in the league.
Disrespect.
It's not because
I like Lonzo over David Robinson.
What?
Yeah, I like him. Defensively, yeah, I'll take him.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I won't disagree.
He was in better shape too. He was in way better shape.
Phenomenal shape.
Because even after he was sick, he came back.
He was still effective. But this is something this is why I ask these questions, because I have mine. Of course, Patrick is in mine, but it's not different from yours. I like Shaq to be number 1 because he's the most dominant player ever. Second is Kareem. He had the skyhook. You couldn't stop it. He's the all-time leading scorer.
This meant a lot.
I like Mutombo. Mutombo was Defensive Player of the Year 10 times.
Nah, he one-dimensional defense.
Okay, what do you need from your center? That's what made Patrick. Patrick was the only center.
To throw that ball down into your center.
Patrick is the only center.
See, I don't like the way these centers play now anyway. I don't like.
What are you talking about now? We're talking about the good old days.
There isn't a real thing as a center right now.
I don't like all this small ball.
Nah, I don't like it either.
You should be able to throw that ball down into your big man.
And take 2 dribbles.
If you don't have a big man, that's why I love, what's his name now?
Embiid.
I love Embiid.
Embiid is the new hybrid.
But I love it because he'll go down there and play the old school ball and throw it down into him.
You know who pisses me off? LaMarcus Aldridge.
Too soft.
He can't go left. He doesn't body you down. He's got that big 6'9" frame.
And his footwork,
can't move anybody.
It's that slow.
But he has good footwork. It's not moving forward. It's always like if you watch him, he'll make a dribble. Now I'm going away from the basket. I don't want the contact.
He's just not athletic.
He's soft. So
yeah.
With all that said, I like Shaq. I like Kareem at the 2. I like Olajuwon. I like Patrick, and I like Zoe.
I mean, I like your 5 too.
I
just like my 5 better.
What you got, John?
I'm going with deadlift shrimp.
Hey, this is over. Thank you guys for coming out.
I knew you ain't gonna pick deadlift with the cut he used to wear, man.
Man, we are running out of time. We'd like to thank Ed Harrison for his mediocrity of basketball knowledge. If you are looking for a program and you're in the area, man, please reach out to him. He's a good dude. He does a lot in the community. We have a lot of stuff going on. Look for the flyers here in Prime Styles, 8 Halcyon Drive. Gerald, if they're looking to be a part of your league, how do they get in contact with you?
All City Classic 302 at yahoo.com. You reach me on Facebook at All City Classic 302, Instagram, same thing, Twitter, all of those places, I'm there. Call me 302-507-9630. Leave a message.
Please leave a message, and he will text you back. He might not call you back.
Facts.
So Ed, how did people get in contact with you for a haircut, Building Bulls? Like, how do they get to you, man?
You can get in touch with me the same way for either one. Haircut, you can call, make an appointment. We do appointments too. We don't charge extra for the appointments. Or you can walk in. That's 8 Halcyon Drive in Newcastle, Delaware, right in the corner of Garfield Park. For Building Bulls and any other things I do, you can call me at 302-293-7461 and just state your name and your purpose, and we can go from there.
All right. And if you're looking, I have a league getting ready to start up for kids 3 to 18. We divide you by age group first, but if you're able to move up, we'll move you to the next division. CoachBkids.com, that's how you can register and find out more about what's going on. We have a Fuddruckers fundraiser, and that's what I wanted to tell you guys about on Wednesday, January 17th. It's a meet and greet with the players and the staff and the affiliates and sponsors and all of that at Fuddruckers. I think the address is 40 Jeffrey Drive. It's right across the street from Del Tech, right next to Toys R Us. So come out there Wednesday night, the 17th. It starts at 5:30. We'll be there from 5 to about 8:30. You purchase a meal, and every meal you purchase, they donate 15% of whatever your purchase is back to the program. It'll help sponsor that kid that can't necessarily afford to be a part of all the travels and all of that good stuff. Also, we have CBK Youth Explosion coming up. That's in March 10th. That's going to be at Newcastle Middle. It's $10 to get in if you're an adult over 18, $5 for everybody else. If you're taller than the table, you got to pay $5. That's the rule. For all our sponsors, I want to thank you to Lace the OG. Thank you to Bull Body. Thank you to All City Classic, Building Bulls, Ebony's Haven. Thank you to Mills Comedy. Everybody that's affiliated with us, man, we really appreciate you guys. We like to definitely thank the myth, the legend, Ed Harrison, for coming out and having some good discussion with us. That's non-basketball verbiage. We definitely like to thank him for having us come out. Cleo Green on the visuals, always in the back pocket. We appreciate you guys for watching. It's easy to get in contact with us. We're nothing but sports, facts, and opinions. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you next Wednesday. We're gonna go live at the fundraiser.
That's which day?